Hello, this is Hunter Smith with MetaStock, and today's webinar we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm very excited about it. We're going to have our special guest, Mr. Sagar Nandi, is going to actually be doing trading with his newly updated Q Global system through MetaStock, but he's going to be doing it on live prices since we are during market hours right now. Now, before we get too far into it, I need to cover our disclaimer. This demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and accompanying software plugins, and it's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using the specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. MetaStock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of our software, any trading strategies or information provided in connection with the company. Now, we have been working with Mr. Sagar Nandi for quite a while now. He's been a professional trader for many, many years. We were actually lucky enough to get his system within MetaStock, and we've been working on that system with him for a couple of years now. And Sagar is the type of trader that is always making changes to his trading system. And we are very happy to announce that Q Global now has a brand new update. Q Global is it's a very large community. Now, if you haven't been to his website yet, I would encourage you to go. It's www.superiorprofit.co. He has ebooks, training videos, tutorials, etc. He's always posting on his blogs. And this is all free information. And I love that because there's an entire community behind Superior Profit. Now, Q Global has gone under a little bit of an update. We've added many new indicators, about 10 new indicators. We've added many new explorations. So now it comes with 29 indicators. It comes with 31 explorations, 16 templates, 11 experts. We're going to be seeing a lot of that during this presentation. So without further ado, I want to give Sagar plenty of time to start trading. So Sagar, can you hear me okay?
Hello, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you just fine. And I see your website, so it looks like you're good to go.
That's great, great. Thank you. Thank you, Hunter, for the introduction and for arranging this webinar. And thanks to all the attendees for joining me today. If you have attended my earlier webinars, you know I don't take time to introduce myself. If you are interested to know more about me, you have our website. You can click on the About menu and know about me, about the company, etc. Hunter mentioned about the learning material that is available on our website. Those are accessible from the education menu. Other than the video, book, blog, we have certain live webinars. If you have any question today, I will try to answer them. If I am not able to answer, you may join our morning market, other live webinars, and I will certainly be able to answer queries in that session if I cannot answer them today. If you have attended my webinars before, you also know that I am not fond of PowerPoint presentations as far as trading is concerned. However, I do have one PowerPoint slide to share. Let me open that. This demonstration is for educational purposes only. It is designed to share information on Superior Profits trading system. The information presented here should only be used by people who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. Past performance is no guarantee of future return. Superior Profit is not an investment advisor. This session is not for any recommendation of buying or selling stock or any other instrument. Superior Profit will have no liability for any investment decision made by its audience. That is out of the way. In my own trading, and other Q traders follow the same approach. I like to trade when all the forces are aligned with my trade's direction. That means I choose stocks that are fundamentally strong, that are in strong industry, and that are giving low risk technical trade setup. I use multiple systems for analyzing industry rotation, fundamental analysis, and technical analysis. In today's session, I will primarily use Q Global Technical Trading System on MetaStock trading platform. The Q systems is quite broad and deep. This session is not aimed to be a training session on Q systems. Here I will use live market of different countries and analyze the system. And along the way, I will try to explain what I am looking at and what does it tell on the charts. Let's start with some broad market analysis of multiple countries. We are starting with Australian index AXJO. In Q systems, we have ready-made chart templates. One go-to template is the at a glance weekly daily template. This template has one weekly chart and one daily chart. Together we call this at a glance template because we can decide using this single template if there is any low risk trade entry opportunity for swing trading, let's say. How do we know if there is a trade entry opportunity? We have defined checklists. Those are available from the education checklist menu. We have checklists for 4 different trade setups. One for trending market, one for reversing market, one for sideways, one for exhausting. If you click on any of them, it will open up a checklist. And the checklist has 2 columns, one for a bullish trade. This is a bull, not a deer in the middle, and one for a bearish trade. The good thing about the checklist is that whoever is looking at it, whether I am looking at it, you are looking at it, or Hunter is looking at it, will come to the same conclusion about whether the checklist conditions are being met or not being met. If they are being met, then we have a valid trade setup for trend following setup, for example. We have other trade setups for reversing market, sideways market, and exhausting market. In today's session, I will try to demonstrate how you can identify trade setups for different market conditions using different trading strategies. I will do that on the USA market, but let us start with the country analysis of several indices. This is AXJO, and I practiced about the drawing tool. Let me see, at least using the spotlight. This is AXJO, the Australian index. In the weekly chart, we had a bearish headwind. This is a possible reversal signal that came sometime in August, September last year. From there, price had a significant drop. Then we had a bullish headwind, possible reversal signal that could catch the very bottom. And AXJO had a very big up move from there. If you notice the bullish headwind using Q systems around end of November, beginning of December, you could either buy AXJO, or my preferred approach is to drill down into the Australian market, find out fundamentally strong stocks in strong industries that are going up. If the market index has made such a big move, the stocks that were in strong industries with solid fundamentals would have made even bigger move. Now our trading decisions are made at the right edge. What do we see at the right edge is that price has come to a watermark resistance level, this white dotted line, and this watermark was created where a bearish headwind came earlier. Today there is a bearish headwind in the weekly chart also. The week is not over yet, but we have a bearish headwind in the weekly chart, and it is breaking below this automatically drawn smart trend line we call memory trend line. What it is telling us? The weekly chart is telling us that this is not the time to start taking new long trades in Australian market. That is a market level conclusion. Instead, if you had long positions, you may protect profit using trailing stop, or you may even start to look for shorting opportunities. What about the daily chart? The daily chart is showing that it is still in an uptrend. Therefore, we don't have any short setup in AXJO for swing trading. However, you can always drill down into weak fundamental stocks, weak industries, and look for shorting opportunities. That is our reading on AXJO. Let's look at China market. And I think I will need to change the pointer. Let's look at China market. China and America are undergoing a trade discussion that is in news all the time. Let's see how the China market is doing. This is CSI 300 index, the China market index. This also had a up move from the very bottom where the bull release signal came. That was then. Now we see that 1 week ago, the weekly backdrop candle color turned magenta. That was bearish. This week, the last candle, the week is not over yet. The candle color is remaining bearish. Therefore, for CSI 300, we are not going to look for buy setup right now. What about the daily chart? Daily chart displayed the bearish headwind, this red diamond on top of the candle, right at the very top. From there, price decline. You could look for shorting opportunity in CSI 300, or even better, as I already mentioned, my preferred approach is to drill down into weak fundamental stocks in weak industries and look for short setups. What about now? Now price has already dropped from this band indicator, stretch band indicator that shows overbought, oversold condition. We can see it was oversold for 3 days. Today it is not oversold anymore. That gave us this bull release signal. What does it tell? That if you had a short trade earlier, now is the time to book profit or protect profit using trailing stop. As far as trade setups are concerned, the 4 standard trade setups that we have established using unambiguous checklists, there is no trade setup in CSI 300. Overall, it is not bullish for swing trading purpose. Let's look at Hong Kong market. HSI index, Hang Seng index. This also had a long up move from the bottom here. Now in the weekly chart, it displayed a bearish headwind several weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. That time the candle color was neutral, that is yellow in the weekly chart. 1 week ago it turned magenta, it displayed a bear release signal, the down arrow. This week, the week is not complete, the candle color is remaining magenta, bearish. That means we are not going to look for buy setups in HSI right now. The daily chart is still in an uptrend. There is no Q trade setup right now in HSI. Looking at the change of color in the weekly chart from neutral to bearish, you may drill down into the constituents of HSI and look for weak fundamental stocks. In weak industries, look for shorting opportunities. Let's look at Singapore market. Superior profit is based in Singapore. So far, we saw that Australia, China, Hong Kong, none of them are bullish, not bearish also, not going down much, but not bullish at the same time. You will see Singapore market is different. In the weekly chart, price is steadily going up. Unlike the other three markets we studied just now, here the weekly backdrop candle color is bullish, cyan. By the way, in all Q systems, green cyan indicates bullish, red magenta indicates bearish, yellow is neutral. You would have noticed by now the indicators or the charts don't have any label. They are made so by design. You can look at the color coded indicators, signals, and you are expected to respond to them intuitively. After about 1 week of using the system, you should be able to do that. So instantly we can know that STI, the broad index in Singapore, it is bullish unlike the other markets. The week is not over, but the last candle in the weekly chart is very bullish in shape also. In the daily chart, we can see it is strongly going up above the upper boundary levels. It's extended to the upside. It is bullish, but it is extended to the upside because it is above the upper boundary levels, this pair of dashed lines at the top. We can also see from the stretch band indicator that it is overbought for last 2 days. In Q technique, we are looking for low risk entry opportunities. Therefore, though STI is bullish, it is overbought. We are not going to take any long trade in STI right now, but it is bullish. Therefore, you can drill down into STI's constituents, look for strong fundamental stocks in strong industries, and look for buy setups on technical charts. Let's look at QQQ now. Coming to the USA market, the NASDAQ ETF. Last week, the QQQ had a very bullish shape candle and the candle color was also bullish. Backdrop candle color in the weekly chart, cyan. It made a new all-time high. It crossed above this watermark resistance level where the bearish headwind came earlier that could lead to a significant price drop. If you watch the weekly market roundup, the latest one, you would see that I mentioned it is bullish, no doubt about it. If price could reverse and close below this watermark resistance, then it will create a false upside breakout and that may give us a shorting opportunity. If not in QQQ, at least in constituent stocks that are fundamentally weak and in weak industries. In the market roundup, I also mentioned that in the daily chart, we had a number of memory support lines, the green trend lines automatically drawn, and we are not going to take any short trade in QQQ unless these memories are broken. These trend lines are broken. That hasn't happened yet. In fact, I also shared that such memory support lines were there in most, if not all, the other market ETFs. Let's look at DIA. It has a memory support here, this green line. Here the weekly candle backdrop color is not cyan. In fact, it is yellow for last 3 weeks. That is showing that it is not as strong as QQQ. Dow Jones Industrial Average is not as strong as NASDAQ ETF. As of today, the week is not over, but the weekly is displaying a bear release signal. In the daily, the candle color has turned magenta. That is not bullish. However, until the memory support is broken, we are not going to take any short trade or look for any short trade in DIA. You may start to look for shorting opportunities in industrial stocks. Industrial ETF is underperforming broad market. You can know that from this copper color dotted line, relative performance line, it is sharply tilting downward, both in weekly and daily, showing that industrials are underperforming. Therefore, if you are going to look for shorting opportunities, you may look for them in DIA constituent stocks instead of QQQ constituent stocks. What about S&P 500 ETF, SPY. SPY is not cyan in the weekly chart, and it is not cyan for 3 weeks now. Therefore, it is not as bullish as QQQ, though it is going up. And in the daily chart, again, there are multiple memory support trend lines. Again, unless these support trend lines are broken, we are not going to look for any shorting opportunity. The last ETF we may look at is the Russell 2000 small cap ETF, IWM. This has been the weakest one of the 4 market ETFs that we study for the USA market. It is farthest away from all-time high. We had a bearish headwind, possible reversal signal at the previous all-time high. From there, price dropped significantly. Now it has recovered a lot, however, still far away from all-time high. The weekly candle color is neutral. In the daily, the candle color is red, bearish. Again, daily has memory support trend lines. We are not going to short IWM unless these memories are broken. Russell 2000 is the weakest one of these 4 ETFs. Therefore, if the market is toppling over, starting to go down, or at least retrace back somewhat, then the higher probability shorting opportunities may come from small cap stocks. We know that from IWM being the weakest of the 4 ETFs. That is what we can conclude from the market level analysis using technical charts of these market ETFs. However, market level is very broad. To identify trading opportunities, you may drill down into industry level and then stock level to look at trading opportunities. Why I say so? Market is near all-time high, at least SPY, QQQ, DIA, they are near all-time high or at all-time high. However, there are many stocks that are down this year. This year meaning in past 12 months. Therefore, it is not true that market is at all-time high or near all-time high means every stock has gone up. That has not happened. That never happens. Therefore, by drilling down into stock level, industry level, we are always able to find trading opportunities, both in the long direction as well as in the short direction. We can find trading opportunities in both direction. Which direction should we take? We can take both. However, it is going to be higher probability trades if we align them with the market direction. What is the market direction right now? It is bullish, but it is at very high at several resistance level. We may start to look for shorting opportunities, but not take them unless the market starts to roll over. From where shall we look for shorting opportunities or buying opportunities? We can create stock lists in MetaStock, and you can see I have created multiple for USA, for other countries also. We'll focus on the USA market today. Using the explorers that we have in the queue system, we can find different trade setups, like the bounce trade setup for exhausting market, box for sideways market, breakout setup, long direction, go with flow for trend following market, headwind for reversal market. We have a set of sonars, we call them, for the long direction and another set for the short direction. Then we have other Q sonar explorers that you can combine to find an exact pattern that you have in your mind. These sonars don't look for indicator values, because we saw from the technical charts, the indicators don't have any value really. They are color coded dots, lines, etc., arrows, diamonds, but they don't have value. So we don't look for indicators crossing certain thresholds. We look for actual trade setup using these long or short sonars, or we can combine some of the other sonars to find certain patterns. You can think of them as trading strategies. So after you have the indicators, after you have the chart templates, after you have the explorers, you can combine them to establish a trading strategy. Many strategies are possible. You may follow a few that appeals to you. I am trying to cover a number of strategies today. Let's see how much time we have. One strategy that may be very profitable is to find viable stocks from the worst performers of the past 12 months. So these stocks are worst performer for 1 year. Most people are shunning them. They are looking for stocks that are at all-time high. However, the stocks that are at all-time high now, they were in this condition earlier. They were some of the worst performers in the past. One very profitable trading strategy is to look for viable stocks among the stocks that are currently worst performers. But we are not going to buy them if they are still dropping. So let's see how using Q systems I can put this strategy in action. First step is we'll create a list of worst performers of past 12 months based on price performance. Second step, we'll run Q Sonar program, search program, to find out if any of them are breaking out of memory resistance. Then we'll have stocks that are at low price breaking out, and then we'll go through those charts to see if we have a viable opportunity in that. I have already created a list of stocks, the worst performers of last 12 months. I created it today morning before market open. These are 20% of the worst performers. I started with a list of about 1500 stocks that we have in Q scorecard, Q Edge system, and I sorted them in terms of performance over 12 months and took the 20 worst performers. I'm going to select this. It has 298 stocks, and let me look for long breakout opportunities using this sonar. I'm going to run it on daily interval using live data. I don't store any data on my computer, though you are able to do that if you choose to do so. Then the sonar will run even faster. However, the speed is good enough for us, at least for me. So it is going through 298 stocks and it found 7 stocks. These 7 stocks are among the worst performers, but today, using live data, I have access to live data on this computer. Using live data, we see these 7 stocks are breaking out of memory resistance. Let me open them one by one using the standard go-to template, at a glance template, and analyze the stock to see if there is any buying opportunity. It takes actually 3-4 seconds for me to decide, but let me explain the thought process. In the daily chart, it displayed a bullish headwind signal at the bottom. Today, it broke out of this memory resistance trend line. That's why we got this stock into the sonar scan. However, the candle color as of now is yellow. The candle shape is not bullish because it has an upper tail. And in the weekly, the backdrop candle color is magenta bearish. Therefore, I am not going to consider any buying in ADS right now. By the way, even if I find a tradable opportunity, it's not a trade recommendation. And another thing is the trade confirmation has to come near market end. Now it is only 11:30 a.m. The candles may change, the indicators may change between now and market close. You are able to take the trade just before market close. You don't have to wait for next day if you are using Q technique. but you may not want to take the trade right now. You may create a short list that I will try to do now. So in ADS, we don't have a trading opportunity right now, though it is breaking out. Let's go to the next stock. I use the hotkeys in MetaStock to go to the next stock, or you could use this right arrow, next instrument option. Here we can see it is breaking out of memory resistance in the daily chart, also about to break out of the memory resistance in the weekly chart as well. In the daily chart, we had memory support at the bottom, we had memory resistance at the top, means it was inside a triangle pattern. It was not trending. Right now, because it is not trending and the weekly is yellow, it is also near memory resistance in the weekly. I am not going to consider any buying in CUTR. Let's go to the next stock. This stock is having multiple memory resistance trend lines in the daily chart. Therefore, I'm not going to consider any buying. MCK, it is breaking out of this memory resistance, but as of now, the candle shape is not bullish. It has an upper tail. So as of now, there is no buy setup here. Next stock, RLGY. It is breaking out of a memory resistance, this red line. You can see that better probably if I delete the upper boundary lines and also the yellow line. It is breaking out of this red color memory resistance. Of all the stocks that I saw till now, this one is most promising. I would prefer this to close little bit higher. Currently the daily candle color is yellow. If it can close with a bullish color, green color or cyan color in the daily chart, then there may be a buying opportunity in RLGY using the technique of breakout trading. It is breaking out of the memory resistance. Here there are number of dots. These dots, the upper band, not the second upper band, these dots, they indicate if the stock is going up or down with extreme pressure. Pressure is a combination of displacement and volume. So instead of just relying on volume or magnitude of move, we have combined them, and we can see since this extreme low in this stock, we can see in the weekly also that was the extreme low, it has displayed only bullish pressures, no bearish pressure. That is bullish also. This band, which is in magenta color, then turned red and now turned dark red, this showing that price was at extreme low, magenta, then it recovered somewhat red, and it recovered further dark red. So it is still at a low price level, but not as extreme low as it was earlier when the color was magenta. For this indicator, we call pendulum or price extreme indicator. RLGY may give us a buying opportunity as a stock that is at extreme low and breaking out. Let me write that down. RLGY may be a stock following this strategy number 1. Let's see if there was any other stock found. SGMS. Because I deleted certain indicators, let me open the charts with fresh template. All the indicators are back. As you can see, I have set up all the templates, ready-made templates on the menu bar. So I can simply click on them and apply the template that I want to. SGMS is a gaming company. In the weekly chart, it was inside a triangle pattern bound by the memory resistance, memory support. It is moving sideways for 3 weeks. The backdrop candle color is bullish. In the daily also, it is bound by memory resistance and memory support that is inside a triangle pattern. If it could break out decisively of the triangle pattern, both in weekly and daily, then it could be a buy setup, but not now. It hasn't broken out of the memory resistance yet. What you could do, you could add this list in your watch list, keep in view list, and see if it is able to break out of the two memory resistance lines in the daily chart. Then look for a buy setup. Let me add that. SGMS, this is keep in view. Weight watchers, WW. This is also looking good to me. Following this strategy, it has dropped a lot in the weekly chart. Then a bullish headwind came. That time the backdrop candle color was yellow in the weekly chart. After that, it didn't move up. Maybe it moved a little bit down, but the candle colors turned bullish. Cyan backdrop candle color, and it displayed multiple bull release up arrows. In the daily chart, it has a memory resistance. If it can close above the memory resistance, then you may consider a breakout buy setup in this stock. WW, we may add that also to our watch list. In MetaStock, data is coming from Refinitiv, and Refinitiv data has some suffix, so I added those suffix also. Was there any other stock? We are back to ADS. So using strategy number 1, that is trying to find viable stocks from the worst performers of past 12 months, we could find 3 possible stocks. Let me spend 1 minute to look at their fundamentals. RLGY, SGMSWO. The moment I typed the stocks in the manual list, it retrieved data from Refinitiv and calculated the vital statistics. If I look at them instantly, I can see now in terms of fundamental valuation, not based on price performance. Based on price performance, they were worst performers. They are at a low level, and we can see SGMS and WW, the valuation score is in cyan color, so they are value stocks. SGMX has very good earnings growth also in the latest quarter. WW has positive earnings growth, but reducing earnings growth. That is fine. In terms of fundamentals, we see SGMS and WW are value stocks with positive earnings growth. That is enough reason in terms of fundamentals to consider buying these stocks. And we have possible technical trade setup. I can also see short squeeze score is in cyan color, meaning they may have a short squeeze potential. This is earnings session, so we need to be aware of the earnings dates. They are nearby. One way is to wait for the earnings date and then take a trade, confirming that they are going up after earnings, or you could deploy a strategy using maybe options instruments that allows you to take a position ahead of earnings, but not take too much risk. That was strategy number 1. I'm not looking at the, okay, let me look at casinos and gaming and specialized consumer services industries quickly. Casinos and gaming. It was strong earlier, cyan color, but today it is declining. So it's currently bearish, the industry with real-time data. And the other one was specialized consumer services. This is also not getting stronger. The color is changing to magenta. Therefore, if you apply the 360 degrees technique where you want to find a stock that is fundamentally strong, technically strong, as well as in a strong industry, then we didn't find any trend. If you were using only technical analysis, then we found, or even fundamental and technical together, then we found these two stocks, SGMS and WW. That was strategy number 1. Many strategies are possible. Let's go to the second strategy. Let me close this chart. The second possible strategy is find trend following trades. Last time we were looking for breakout trades, and now we are trying to use a strategy where we are identifying trend following buy opportunities from a list of value stocks. What are the sub steps? First step is create a list of value stocks based on fundamental analysis, not based on price performance, but fundamental analysis. Using Q scorecard, I did that already. Then run Q sonar to find out which of these stocks are in uptrend. How to decide that? I will use multiple steps. I will find out stock where backdrop candle color in the weekly chart is bullish. And then I will look for stocks that are above the slow direction line, meaning uptrending stock in the daily chart. And finally look for go with flow trend following buy trade setup. And then I will go through the stocks using our at a glance, the info template. Let's start carrying out these steps. For the stock list, I am now going to use the list that is for value stocks. I created it today early morning. It has 476 stocks. These are based on fundamental calculation of Q Vital. And I'm going to look for stocks that are having weekly candle color as bullish. Weekly backdrop candle color is bullish. And I'm going to run it on weekly interval because I'm looking for weekly candle color to be bullish. It has completed 65%. We now have 168 stocks out of 476 stocks that were value stocks. These 168 are having weekly backdrop candle color as bullish. Why did I search for that? If I go to the trend following, go with flow trade setup, one of the checklist conditions says the weekly backdrop candle color has to be cyan, that is bullish, for a bullish trade setup. Therefore, I could use the sonar, Q sonar explorer in MetaStock to find those stocks. Now I am going to use the result from the last exploration, this 168 stock, that is my stock universe now. I'm going to run my sonar on daily interval and I'm going to deselect everything and select long go with flow trade setup, the sonar for that, and another one which says price is above the slow direction line. I click on the summary button. Now I have to start being run on the results from the last exploration. I'm going to sort them properly. I'm going to look for stocks above slow direction first, and then from the result, I'm going to look for trend following, go with flow, trade setup. And you can see here, I have selected use the results from the preceding exploration. So it will run the explorers in a waterfall fashion. Let me run them. We had 106 stocks above slow direction, but go with flow. Okay, it has found 7 stocks. Let's go through them because we are at about 50 minutes into the session. I will now go through them quickly and stop if I find a suitable opportunity. In fact, the first one looks like a suitable opportunity. So I'm going to add it, arnc.n. This one is inside triangle pattern. I'm going to skip that. Harsho HSC also has memory resistance. I'm not going to take a long position. MHK. Here the weekly is looking pretty bullish at a low price level in terms of technicals, and it is one of the value stocks. It is breaking out also and giving a cyan color flow candle. You may see how this moves in the coming days. MHK, then NYCB banking stock has memory resistance in the daily. I'm going to skip it. This had a big gap up move today, probably because of earnings. You can check that out, SANM. In the daily chart, it is now overbought, shown by this band indicator, and it is above the upper boundary to extend it. Not going to consider buying that now. Wedge also had a big gap up, again, maybe because of earnings. This is very bullish in the weekly chart, in the daily chart also, but in Q technique, we don't chase, so I'm not going to take it long now. Back to ARNC. ARNC is looking interesting, looking good for a long trade. It has a bullish shape candle, bullish color candle in the daily, bullish shape, bullish color in the weekly. The relative performance, this copper line is tilting up consistently. So everything is bullish. Only thing is it is at the upper boundary level. However, if you take a long position now, your stop would be just below recent low, below this low. Exactly where that can be decided from another chart template we call the protection chart template. The exact stop could be at this magenta level. So ARNC looks interesting. We know it is a value stock because that's how I created the list. Let me paste these stocks and check ARNC. Now I am doing a peer analysis of the stock based on its industry peers. Not found, so I might have entered the symbol wrongly, arnc.n. Let me correct that. It is in aerospace and defense, and it should be a value stock. Yes, it's a value stock. Valuation is good. From the snapshot, we can also see the earnings growth in the last 3 quarters positive, last 2 years also positive. Revenue growth last 3 quarters also positive. Revenue growth last 2 years also positive. So this stock has respectable growth, good valuation. It's in aerospace and defense industry. Let's check that out. Go to sector, industrials, drill down from industrial sector and aerospace and defense. It is cyan today. There is acceleration shown by the page column. So in terms of industry analysis, there is enough reason to look for a buy setup in underlying stocks. In terms of fundamentals, ARNC is pretty good and has earnings growth as well. On technical charts, it's looking good. So ARNC NC is one potential opportunity. So we use two strategies and we tried to find trade setups. It was not easy to find many long setups. That also tells us something about the market. So I will try to use 3 more minutes to quickly see if there are possible short setups. This is a third strategy. Now we are going to look for possible shorting opportunities from overvalued stocks which are also having poor earnings growth. First step, create a list of overvalued stocks based on fundamental analytics. Further, choose only the stocks with negative and decelerating earnings growth. Then run Sonar, Q Sonar to find out the stocks that are breaking below memory support and go through the stocks. Let me see how fast I can run that. Now I am going to use the stock list for overvalued stocks with negative and decelerating earnings growth. In terms of valuation, in terms of earnings growth, they are weak. I'm going to look for now short breakout candidates. I have only one scanner selected on daily charts. I'm going to run it. It is running on 109 stocks. Again, I created this list just before market open based on fundamental analytics from Cube Vital. Let's see if we find attractive short candidates. We see most of the stocks are not identifying any trade setup. We have 3 possible breakouts. Breaking out to the downside, let's look at them one by one. Here the weekly is magenta, bearish. It had a big up move. Now weekly turned from cyan to yellow to magenta, that is bearish. In daily, if it can break below this memory support line, then at least we should be careful if we are holding a long position. There is another memory support nearby. The distance may be enough for a quick short trade, but not the best shorting opportunity because there is another memory support line nearby. This one had a big gap down today. Again, maybe because of earnings. Oversold, we can see from this stretch indicator. We are not going to look for shorting here now. Wing, this one looks good. Instantly, we can decide. The templates are color coded with that in mind. In the weekly chart, it had a move up, then candle color turn neutral, and then magenta this week, current week. Current week also has a bear release signal, the down arrow. The next support line is quite a distance away in the weekly chart. In daily, just today it is breaking below memory support. Wing, let me add that to the list. DPSG, we are back to the first stock. So Wing, we know it is overvalued stock because that's how we created the list. I created the list today. Let me check the industry. Restaurants in consumer discretionary. And we can see the valuation is poor and earnings growth in the latest quarter is negative and decelerating from previous quarter. That's how I created the list. Let's check the restaurants industry in consumer discretionary. Consumer discretionary. Restaurants industry. It is magenta. So it is looking weak. There is deceleration also. Therefore, in terms of industry weakness, we have that in restaurants. Fundamentally, the stock is very weak, both in terms of valuation, earnings growth, and it is looking like breaking down below memory support. It has a very low risk entry opportunity. So we tried to carry out 3 different strategies using live data. I think the 2 best setups that we found, they are in ARNC, a buy opportunity, and WING, a short opportunity. That is all the time I have. I will pass it to webinars. If you have any question, you can always email me or attend our other live webinar sessions. Register from our website. Thank you for attending. I look forward to seeing again. See you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sagar. Another wonderful webinar. I'm glad that you were able to use this during live market hours. We love watching systems work as the market is ticking. You showed us quite a few very, very good examples of long and short signals. This system, like I said, it's very, very good. Once you actually utilize some of the education that Sagar provides, once you watch some of his webinars, take part in some of his classes, look at the material that he has on his website, you can start making trading decisions in a very, very short period of time. You can take a look at some of these materials that he already has on his website, again, at superiorprofit.co. Now, with this, obviously, he showed quite a few tools. And the easiest way to find out whether or not this system is right for you is to actually use the system. So what we've done is we've put together kind of an extended trial here. Now, normally, Superior Profit, Q Global, the system that you were looking at today, is normally $99 per month. What we wanted to do is give you an extended period of time to utilize this system to find out how it affects your workflow, how it affects your trading overall. So what we've done is, with Sagar's permission, we have put together an offer where if you pay for 1 month of Q Global at $99, you actually get 2 additional months for free. So you have 3 total months using Superior Profit Q Global. And honestly, within this time period, you're going to be able to figure out whether or not Superior Profit Q Global is for you, if it fits your trading style, and if, more importantly, if it's profitable for you. Now, to take advantage of this offer, a couple of ways. First off, you can contact us directly at metastock.com/sales chat. We have account executives on chat right now. You can come in and ask questions. Tell them that you were part of the webinar, you were watching Sagar using this system. Just ask for the special 3-for-1 offer. The second way is you can actually go to metastock.com/superior profit A 3-for-1, and I'll put that in the chat now, as well as we're on YouTube Live right now, so we'll throw that in the chat so you can just click that link and go ahead and get your extended trial. So again, Sagar, thank you so much for presenting today. Again, we love doing live examples while the market is in right now. So to everyone in the audience, thank you so much for attending. And as always, happy trading. Let us know if you have any questions.